In November of 1970, the remote Isdalen Valley in Norway became the site of one of the most baffling and mysterious deaths in history. A woman's burned body was discovered, and to this day, no one knows her identity. She was later named the Isdal Woman, and the circumstances of her death remain unsolved. How did she end up there? Why did she vanish without a trace? Join us as we dive into the haunting mystery of the Isdal Woman. On November 29, 1970, two hikers stumbled upon a grisly scene. While walking through Isdalen Valley, they discovered a burned body at the base of a cliff. The body was severely burned, leaving the woman unrecognizable. Strangely, there were no signs of struggle, and nothing seemed to indicate foul play at first glance. Yet, the details surrounding the case became increasingly perplexing. Authorities quickly arrived and were shocked by the state of the body. Not only was her face disfigured beyond recognition, but her fingers had been severed, making it impossible to fingerprint her. The woman's clothing was also burned, but what stood out was how meticulously it had been cut. It appeared as if someone had deliberately destroyed her personal items. But who would do such a thing, and why? As investigators examined the area, they found no personal identification. Her clothes offered no clues, and there were no indications that she had been involved in any criminal activity. The scene seemed to present more questions than answers. How had she ended up here? Who was she, and what had led to her tragic death? Upon further investigation, authorities discovered something even more unusual. In the weeks leading up to her death, the Isdal woman had been traveling across Norway, staying at various hotels under different names. Hotel records showed that she had checked in at several places, but each time, she used a new alias. At one point, she registered as Frida Johansson, and at another, as Barbara Rush. Her use of false names raised suspicions that she was deliberately hiding her identity. But why? She had traveled from Bergen to several other towns, always using cash and registering under different names. Witnesses remembered her, but no one could recall any specific details about her appearance or behavior. She kept to herself, spoke little, and avoided drawing attention. It was as if she were deliberately trying to remain invisible. Even more perplexing was the fact that she left behind a trail of odd occurrences. Some hotel clerks reported that she was always cautious, never making phone calls and never engaging with others. It was as if she was trying to remain undetected. In addition, authorities discovered that her suitcase, found near the body, contained a strange assortment of items, broken watches, clothes, and a few letters, none of which provided any real clues. Among her belongings, investigators found a series of coded messages written in a foreign script. This discovery added a new layer of mystery to the case. Some speculated that the Isdal woman was involved in espionage, perhaps a spy sent to Norway on a covert mission. The use of false names, the coded letters, and the secrecy surrounding her movements seemed to fit the profile of someone trying to hide from the world. Despite extensive efforts, the Isdal woman's identity remained elusive. Some believe she may have been a spy, possibly linked to the Cold War tensions of the time. With her use of false names, strange behavior, and coded messages, many theorized that she had connections to intelligence agencies, either from the West or Eastern Bloc. But the evidence was circumstantial at best. As the investigation into her death continued, many theories emerged. Could she have been a foreign agent? Was she silenced before she could complete her mission? Or was there another, darker explanation for her death? While some still believe the Isdal woman was a victim of espionage, others suggest that she might have been a victim of something more personal. Perhaps she was running from someone terrified for her life. But with no conclusive evidence, we may never know the full truth. Over 50 years have passed since the discovery of the Isdal woman's body, and the case remains one of Norway's most enduring mysteries. Despite renewed efforts to solve the case, no one has ever identified the Isdal woman, and no one knows the true story behind her tragic death. Was she a spy, a victim, or simply a woman who wanted to disappear? The mystery of the Isdal woman continues to haunt investigators and the public alike. And as the years go by, the truth remains elusive. The Isdal woman's death is still a mystery that lingers in the shadows. If you have any information or theories about what happened, we encourage you to come forward. Her true identity may never be known, but the search for answers continues.